Happy New Year, everybody. January is the time of year when we all start thinking about how to get the body we've always wanted. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Abel Avenetti. I'm a professional fitness model, trainer, and team Bodybuilding.com athlete. And I've made a career out of helping others learn how to put on muscle and build their bodies. Now, I have a brand new 9-week training program that puts it all together in one total body plan. It's called Maximum Muscle. 9-week advanced training for Gainz. If you got a gym membership and you're ready to grow, it's perfect for you. This program is designed for advanced lifters who want to put on some serious muscle in the gym. The training tips and techniques I include in every video workout will help you push your body and break through plateaus. Maximum Muscle 9-week advanced training for Gainz. Now available on Bodybuilding.com.
You're watching
Brain Gainz.
Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to Brain Gainz 2020, the show brought to you live from Bodybuilding.com headquarters. My name is Tyler. This is my good friend, Alec, and it's great to have you all here. Don't forget, this is a open broadcast, so we're going to be talking about all sorts of science and nutrition and all the fitness things here. So if you have questions about what we're talking about, please feel free to throw those in chat. Or if you missed the show, make sure you email us at brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. So, welcome. It is the new year. Everyone is starting their transformations. Everyone's getting into the fitness habit once again. And so we wanted to do everything that we could to kind of start supporting you and giving you all the information and tips that you need to keep that transformation going past the first couple weeks where people start falling off. So anyway, if you have questions about that, if you have questions about losing weight or what to eat or how to supplement or how to exercise or just how to stay consistent and motivated, please feel free to throw those in chat and we will get to as many of them as we possibly can. But again, thank you for being here. Let's get going. Alec? Transformations. What do you think, man?
I think it's a really interesting and obviously it's a on-topic topic with the beginning of the year. The nice thing about this time of the year, because transformation doesn't just mean one thing, it's so many different things. And it's all depending on your goal, what you want to do, your lifestyle, whether you want to keep going with something that you may have started at the end of the year, or maybe you've really just locked in a lifestyle and you're just really trying to lead by example. And then there are those who are honestly just ready to roll. This is day one. Or actually, I should say it's the 10th, maybe Day 10, which is good. If you're rolling in with your week and a half in, I mean, in theory, 3 weeks is what the usual, where behavioral change really starts showing.
I agree.
So
you're halfway there.
You're halfway there.
Very good.
Cue Bon Jovi.
That's right.
So,
yes, so just so everyone knows and everyone, if you didn't catch our little social post on Instagram a couple days ago, we are doing a giveaway today to hopefully help support those who are looking to start their transformation by giving away 10 year-long subscriptions to BodyFit, where you can get all your transformation information, all the plans that we have to offer, all the nutrition, all the recipes. So if you're interested in getting your hands on a year-long subscription to BodyFit, stay tuned. We have a link that we can post in chat, and it will be in the description of this video below.
Yes.
And we will be giving out that password a little bit later in the show. Yeah, a little bit later in the show. Thank you, Mark. So stay tuned. But yeah, like Alec mentioned, transformation can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It's not just that everyone wants to be 5% body fat with tons of lean muscle. Maybe you just want to lose some weight off the top. Maybe you are trying to hit a certain strength goal, or maybe you are trying to hit a certain level of fitness, or maybe there's a particular sport that you're just trying to get better at. It means so many different things for so many different people. And so defining that transformation goal right from the beginning as specifically as possible is really the best way to start. So do you want to hit a certain weight on bench press? So, I want to be able to bench 200 pounds this year.
Yes.
Or do you want to hit a certain weight for your body, right? I'm trying to lose 20 pounds because I feel like it would be much healthier for my body to be 10% less weight, right? So there's all these different goals that you may have, and then how you decide to train should be specific to that goal, because training for weight loss is very different than training for strength, which is different than training for muscle growth, right? So these are all different things. So make sure you define that goal very clearly. That is our first little tip. So before we jump into some more specifics, let's answer a couple questions right off the top. And I see a few of them are already kind of hitting a similar thing. How do I lose belly fat? How do I lose my love handle? So obviously one big thing for people is right around the midsection. We want to hit that hot six-pack. What are your thoughts on that?
It's going to be, the nice thing about this one is, again, there's many different ways to skin the cat, but at the end of the day, a caloric deficit is what is going to be your best bet on that.
What does that mean?
So that means you're going to be burning more energy than you are eating. So exert more than you are bringing in. So at the end of the day, that's really what every diet's going to do, whether it's flexible dieting, keto, paleo, Whole30.
Right.
The end game is for you to eat less. Now, making sure you're eating the appropriate amount at the same time is still incredibly important. You don't want to just dive bomb your calories and assume that you're going to go into starvation mode.
Right.
And that's the best way to do it, because that's not healthy. The end of the day, this is supposed to be sustainable, not something that you can just do a crash diet. So, so love handles with that, because you have to decrease your overall body fat. So I mean, that's like the myth of spot fat loss, right? So like, you know what, I want to lose a little weight on my legs. Well, to do that, you have to burn everything.
So your body is really smart, and you can't really trick it into saying losing fat from one specific area. Your body is going to store fat when it believes it needs to store fat, and it's going to start expending fat when it feels like it doesn't have enough energy to do what it is you're trying to do. So having a conservative amount of calorie deficit, so taking off 200 to 300 calories from the normal diet per day, and then also exercising more, will put your body in a position where it says, I need to start burning these calories that I have stored because I'm not getting enough to fulfill the needs of the activity that's being done.
And it's, again, knowing your body is the biggest deal with it. There are nutrition calculators that can be incredibly helpful. They're a nice little baseline to test out and just really monitor your weight. I think I would highly recommend, if you are trying to lose weight or you have maybe a body composition goal, what you want to do is to weigh yourself daily at the same time, usually after you've gone to the bathroom, so you can kind of keep a steady track with it. Because at the end of the day, consistency is going to be the biggest point you want to pay attention to. Like for instance, like I've got something coming up in the next few months that requires me to feel good about myself a little bit more than usual. So the simple change of just 200 calories less a day, it's all it really does.
And that'll add up over a period of time.
Yep. So
yeah, and then a lot of people want to jump into the new year and really dive bomb those calories, like you mentioned before, and you're going to be very uncomfortable very quickly. I mean, the first couple days may feel all right, but that won't be sustainable. You will start getting closer and closer to just quitting, because for your mind, it's very challenging. So anyway, how do I lose my love handles and belly fat? It all comes down to a good diet, caloric deficit, and exercising. Love handles and belly fat are not nearly as focused on crunches as you think they are.
Which is a good segue. There's a question here.
I was going to go right into that. Is a plank helpful in trimming the tummy? And yes, it is a great exercise for your core. It works not just your abs, but your obliques and your back, so your entire midsection. And it may, to a degree, help build those muscles up a little bit larger. It's not necessarily a strength exercise. It is just an endurance exercise for those muscles. So you may see some increased definition in that way, but if you have a layer of belly fat over those abs, it doesn't matter how many crunches you do, they will not stick out. So yes, it will help in growing the muscles, but unless you get rid of the belly fat on top, they will not look any different.
I mean, in general, like, this may be silly, but the big compound movements, deadlifts, squats, even like if you lock your core in properly on a bench press, you're going to get more core activation from those than you are from a plank. So those are going to be exercises that are going to be burning more calories at the end of the day as well. So higher exerting movements will eventually lead you to that goal.
That's right. So. And I'm kind of thinking back to when I was in school doing the kinesiology program, and we were talking about ab activation from planks, and how interesting it was when we learned that you are getting a bunch of that same activation just from doing things like squats and bench press. You are not just using your legs when you are squatting, you're using massive amounts of other muscles. You are using your core to stabilize the bar and yourself when you're going up and down. You're using your core when you're stabilizing the bar when you're bench pressing. And so you just doing those big compound lifts will get you a long way when it comes to muscle definition. Bulking versus cutting. Which one is easier and healthy? So you have just described two very different goals. Like we mentioned before, there are multiple forms of transformation, and you have chosen two very different ones, two different goals for different types of people. Bulking would be for people who feel like they don't need to worry about losing much fat, but they are interested in gaining muscle. And bulking is more about intaking actually more calories and then lifting heavy and hard and often so that you're activating your muscles to the point where they feel like they need to grow. Cutting is less about gaining muscle than it is about maintaining the muscle that you already have while being in a caloric deficit so that you lose the fat that is on top of those muscles. Which one is easier? That really depends on genetics, and it depends on what type of exercise you enjoy doing the most and which one you're most motivated to continue to do regularly. There is no good answer to that one. So whichever one is best for you would depend entirely on your goals.
Like for me, my body type allows me to slowly put muscle on, but I can cut. If I put my mind to it, and it's really not that hard to lose weight, that's my body type. Some people have an easier, I know some people that work out here that the moment they just increase their food slightly, they just balloon up in the best way possible. So it depends. It depends on your ability to be consistent with your food, knowing how your body reacts to things, and choosing the correct exercises.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to read this question, and I'm going to give my answer to it, but it's not going to be as good as your answer to it.
Okay.
So we're going to do that. So from KC's Strength Squad, how do you keep yourself motivated with your training program and nutrition plan? So for me, my motivation comes from setting realistic and reachable incremental goals. So if I tell myself, over the course of the next 2 weeks, I want to lose 3 pounds and I want to increase my bench press by 10 pounds and then extrapolating that over the course of the next 2 week increment or next month and then slowly building that ladder, reaching those smaller and doable goals is a big motivator for me, because I know that by the end of it, that will be a big leap forward for my fitness. But I don't have to do one big leap at a time. I can do little steps forward, and that'll push me forward. So.
And again, it depends on the goal you're doing. Like you said, if your goal is to get a little bit stronger, looking at those small incremental changes. I mean, it depends on how long you've been lifting. If you're a true novice lifter and your body hasn't had those physiological adaptations yet, you can gain strength rather quickly. If you've been lifting for a considerable amount of time, it's paying attention to those like 5-10 pound jumps those are huge. For me, I think the biggest thing is I look back on when I was a little kid and growing up, even through high school, I was a little huskier, and I know that a little bit, so husky. So I pay attention to that. And I mean, this is really cliche, but I would say internal motivation for me is the biggest one, and documenting changes. If my goal is to put on muscle and paying attention to my lifts, like I track everything to a T. I have a spreadsheet that I track everything. And the ability to, like in BodyFit, when you track your exercises through that as well, it's a great tool.
And seeing those graphs go up as you're getting stronger or go down as you're losing weight, it's very motivating.
So the best is when you are seeing a lean muscle mass increase and you happen to be losing weight as well, because that is possible. If maybe you weren't consuming enough protein, you're getting foods that your body's able to digest better and actually absorb. Because I think that's the biggest one. People just eat a lot of food, but their body's not utilizing it correctly. So I think the biggest thing is have reasonable goals. Like I usually write out programming for myself that's like 6 weeks at a time, because then you can just pay attention to your overall workload change. Like by that I mean if you're bench pressing 225 for 3 sets of 10. So that means your workload's 30 reps over that times, and then multiply that by 225. That's how much you moved in that working sets to see that increase.
Yeah.
So it's nice little changes like that.
There you go. All right, so before we get to some of the many other questions, thank you to everyone who's posting those in chat. We see them, and there's a lot of great ones here, so we want to address as many of these as possible. If we don't get a chance to address your question, we still want to take it. Make sure you send an email to brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. Hopefully there's an overlay right there. And you can send it to us there. Alec and I both monitor that email, and we'd love to get back to you on those if we don't get it to here on the show. One more plug. Make sure, if you guys haven't yet, make sure you follow the link that is in chat or in the description down below to the survey that we have. Input the password BodyFit 2020.
All caps.
all caps, BodyFit 2020. Follow that survey. Make sure you apply, and we're giving away 10 one-year-long subscriptions to BodyFit. Then you can follow all the plans that we have there, get the nutrition advice, follow the recipes, and hopefully that can help you with your transformation journey while you're there. So make sure you check that out. So before we take some more questions, we just want to touch a little bit on supplements and how those can be helpful. Hopefully this may answer some of the questions that we have in chat as well. A lot of people, when they're jumping into their fitness journey for the first time, are also interested in how do they supplement correctly. And our general advice is step one to supplementing is actually making sure that your nutrition is right on point, and then you can kind of supplement on top of that. So use the macro calculator that we have available at Bodybuilding.com. I know it's super easy to find if you just go into the search bar and type micro calculator or macro calculator, it'll pop right up. But we also have a link in chat. I believe our moderator's thrown that in, and we'll put it in the description down below as well to make it easy for you. Once you have those macros on point, keep it simple, right? Start with the multivitamin, start with some protein to keep your protein intake high, and then from there you can kind of stack onto that with different, ergogenic aids and such like that. So, anyway, we're gonna jump right into more questions. So thank you again, everyone, for commenting those in chat. Aziafa from YouTube says, what advice do you have for a first-time competitor? As a competitor, Alec, what advice do you have?
I would say the biggest thing is set realistic goals for yourself. I mean, there are some people that legitimately, the moment they just start cutting or they touch a weight, they are genetically predisposed to be better than other people. That's just nature of the beast. The biggest thing with that is trust a coach or somebody that you want to take advice from if you want to utilize information from BBCom. Our customer service staff is excellent for that as well, to be able to provide you the information and the location of the pieces that you'd be looking for. Have fun with it. Don't be too hard on yourself. Your first competition is going to be probably your worst placing, just because you don't know what's necessarily the ring of it, supposedly. But give yourself enough time. Some people say, hey, I've got 6 weeks. Can I do it? And be like, you're probably not going to be happy with the end result. Set realistic expectations of, if you know that you have 25 pounds to lose, you're going to lose that. At the end of the day, when it comes to stage, is don't necessarily pay attention to the weight unless you are competing in actual bodybuilding, or bodybuilding or classic physique where weight actually plays into it. Work as hard as you can, get as lean as you can, but be realistic with yourself, and it's okay to be a little bit lower in placing than you may be the next time. So, because I know I placed significantly higher my second time than I did the first time.
There you go. All right, this is a question, it's a little bit newer, but we'll get to more of these as we go. Let's see, where did it go? Vic from Facebook, I'm down to 1,700 calories a day and finding it a challenge to rid myself of the last few pounds. Any advice? So we're getting to the point where the number of calories consumed a day is getting a lot lower than normal. Usually we see people at about 2,000, 2,200, and so we say knock off 200 to start and go from there. So he's at 1,700 calories a day and finding it a challenge to rid himself of the last few pounds. Best advice that I would say is, again, making sure that your activity is high and it is efficient and you're activating as many muscle groups as you can at a time. But more importantly, I would make sure that the macro balance of those 1,700 calories is skewing more towards protein. So following just the standard 60-20-20 of macros for, in favor of carbs and 20% of protein and 20% of fat. You may have better luck by upping your protein intake. I know there's been a lot of great data created about high protein diets over the past couple years, and they found that protein has a tendency to not act exactly the same as the other two macros when it comes to calories. They found that even when you're eating more than the standard amount of calories, but that entire extra amount is made up of protein, people were not gaining the extra weight that would normally have been associated with those calories. And I know it's really confusing and a big word salad, but basically the gist of it is that increasing your protein intake is actually helping your body metabolize in general, because the thermic effect of calories from protein is really high. You're generating a lot of heat in order to break down those proteins.
Meat sweats.
That's right. So try skewing your diet a little bit more towards protein. Have an extra 100 or 150 calories worth of protein, and then take that away from where you were getting calories from carbs and fat, and then maybe that'll help you just by increasing that thermic effect of food from that diet. So best of luck. I know those last couple can be a real challenge.
And it's also something to also bring up is that we don't know your age, we don't know your height, your weight, we don't know your activity levels.
Sure.
So if you're consuming 1,700 calories and you're not necessarily moving around enough, yes, you may be holding on to some. Or maybe you're working too hard and your body is a ton of inflammation that you just need to recover a little bit more. So there's a lot of factors at play here. However, dig deep and just give yourself a little rest. That might help a little bit too.
There you go. What is the difference? This is Satish from YouTube. What is the difference between muscular growth and increasing strength? This is a super good question. There is some crossover in strength coming from muscular growth. Another word for that is hypertrophy. But exercise for those two goals is actually slightly different. So strength is the ability to move more weight with a given rep, and then muscular size is the actual physical size of your muscles. Now, if you increase the size of your muscles to a degree, that will also help your strength. And if you increase your strength, you will see some muscle growth. But to specifically focus your training on one versus the other means two things. Generally, strength is focused on lifting as heavy as you can, as much as you can, really pushing your muscles to the limit, because strength comes from a number of different things. Strength comes from the number and efficiency of the cross bridges within your muscles. It comes from the number of muscle fibers that you have within a given amount of tissue. It comes from the amount of neural activity that takes place and the amount of muscle fibers that are activated from a given neuron, right? And your body is very plastic in that it can learn to do these things better over time, and so you'll see strength from those heavy lifts. Now, muscle size is different. That's your body actually building more tissue on top of the tissue that you already have. So we see more hypertrophy gains, right? We see bigger muscle coming from more medium strength reps with more reps, right? So generally, if you are maxing out your reps at, I think it was 5 to 8 reps in a set, where strength is generally 2 to 5 reps in a set, that's where we see those differences. So best of luck. Make sure you choose kind of what you're looking for. It's not a bad idea to mix between the two, because strength and hypertrophy should be going hand in hand. But if growth is what you're looking for, go bigger. If strength is what you're looking for, go heavier. So best of luck. That was a lot of words. All right, go for it. I'm gonna let you take this next one so I can breathe for a moment.
So on YouTube, Shovham, what is the best exercise for cutting body fat? So we kind of touched on this a little earlier. I would say whatever can engage the muscles, the most muscle groups at a given time is probably your best bet. So again, powerlifting, those principles can really do a number for you. And it just, again, what Tyler just brought up, it's not necessarily focusing purely on just power output, which would be that 2 to 5 rep range. It's actually muscle engagement, so you're burning more throughout that. So sometimes it varies from like taking things to an AMRAPs or as many reps as possible on the back end of a set to just increasing work volume as a whole. So, I mean, you can take given set of reps, right? So say you're given 20 reps for an exercise. How you choose to do those 20 reps are up to you. And that can really delineate the goal. So 4 by 5, so that's more of a power output. So power lifter versus say like, you want to do 2 by 10, you want to just focus on just blasting it out.
Sure.
So it all depends on what you want to do with your body type as well. I know that CrossFitting, or we have a question here as well. The CrossFit principles are outstanding for this as well, because you're just literally nonstop. So no rest periods whatsoever. So.
All right. So one more thing we wanted to touch on in kind of our little script here is a question that a lot of people have is where to start. Right. So I know like walking into the gym for the first time in a long time, or walking in for the first time ever, can be really intimidating. Going onto a website like BB.com for the first time and just seeing the sheer volume of information can be very intimidating. So where do we start? And the best way we can help people out is to go in, see if you can talk to someone who really knows what they're talking about within the gym, have them show you some of the big specific lifts that we find to be most beneficial, right? So some of the more structured compound lifts are a great place to start. And just getting out there and giving it a try. I know a lot of people are intimidated into paralysis when it comes to the gym. I don't know what I'm doing, so I shouldn't go. And unfortunately, that is a pretty tough way to go about it. But I'd say, talk to the experts that are at the gym, have them show you some of the basic lifts. They're gonna, cover the biggest amounts of muscle for you, right? So I usually have people start with, lightweight bench press, lightweight squats, lightweight pull downs, things that are activating a ton of muscle in every lift. And then from there, you can kind of start building into the more isolated muscle. I know a lot of people, they want to walk in and first thing they want to do is start pulling dumbbells to get their biceps bigger, but they're actually doing themselves a disservice there. But yeah, what do you have to say for people who are first timers?
I think the big deal is know where you're at as well. I mean, there are generally people that are, their mobility is pretty restricted based upon some some life choices they've had, where going out and just walking for 20 minutes is a huge deal. So start small, that's huge. Know that the ability to listen to motivational music or motivational podcasts is that there's a number out there to at least do something while you're moving. I think the biggest thing is some people just don't know what to do. If you can multitask and do that, that's great. Kind of what Tyler brought up, like if you want to take the next step by touching like a weight or going into a gym or something like that, getting a kind of run through based on your mobility as well is a big deal. One thing that I know, unfortunately, the gym fail videos exist. People that try to lift too much for what their body can actually handle. Maybe you can't squat properly and you need to work on a little bit of physical therapy to be able to get your body there. There's nothing wrong with setting your ego aside to be able to set yourself up for the most success. I think that's a big one, is to have somebody run through your body, what you can do, and then you can start building from there. Because after that, you're doing Legos, and you're just building and building and building, and it can be a lot of really cool things your body can do once you reach that point.
Exactly. And we want to help you get there. Like I said, we're doing a giveaway today for 10 one-year-long subscriptions to BodyFit. We have over 60 different programs that you can use there to kind of help teach you what you need to know about the gym. And when I say teach, I mean we have programs that start all the way from the very basics of the beginning. So if you want to learn everything that we have to tell you about the gym, you can start with the beginner programs all the way up to the most advanced ones that we have, like the total body workouts from Abel Abenetti that are coming out this month. Maximum Muscle, I believe it is. And man, I don't know if you've seen those workouts. They are very serious. But yeah, make sure you check it out. BodyFit, over 60 programs. And if you want to get a chance to have a year-long subscription on us, make sure you follow the SurveyMonkey link. Put in that password, BodyFit 2020 in all caps, and you'll get a chance. Those, we'll be announcing the winners next week. So best of luck to everyone on those. I think we're out of time for questions today, unfortunately, because my feed is just absolutely flooded. So thank you, everyone who helped us by submitting questions today. We had some really, really great ones, and I'm really excited that we got to talk about so much cool stuff. But again, if we didn't get to it, please feel free to send us an email at brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com, and then we will do our best to get back to you on those. Before we let you go, we do want to let you know of some cool things that we have on site. We do have some new products and new flavors and some promotions going on. So
yes.
Real quick, Alpha Lion is now on site. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Alpha Lion, but they are now officially on Bodybuilding.com with their Gainarade, the Alpha Dreams, the Jet Gainz, Gainz Candy, Goat Teen, Komodo Pump, and Cheetah Burn. Performax Labs also has the E-Amino Max and the Slin Max. A couple new flavors as well.
And something to also touch back on that with Alpha Lion. They are online exclusive with Bodybuilding.com, so you can only find those on BB.com.
There you go.
And with that, some new flavors of Extend Original Black Cherry and Miami Ice, some GAT Sport Radical Mass Vanilla, and then back with our friends with Alpha Lion. Superhuman was launched with the Santa sauce during Christmas time, which I actually have a couple bottles of that.
Nice.
But with the Superhuman, they have Candy, Kryptonite, Kruger, Kiwi Berry, Orange Gainsicle, Unicorn Juice, and Hulk Juice.
+1 for whoever did those names. Those are good. I like those. We do have a BOGO event going on for the Bodybuilding.com signature brand, EVL, Muscle Tech, RSP, Optimum Nutrition, BSN, and many more, and a 10% cleansing and digestion sale.
And a 25% gym sale.
Thank you for that. I actually didn't have that written down. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Again, one more time, if you want to get a chance at a 1-year-long subscription, make sure you go to the SurveyMonkey, input the password BodyFit 2020, all caps, one word, and we will hopefully get a chance to get you one of those. And then after we're done here today, we wanted to show you a little bit about what BodyFit is about, a little preview of the programs that you have access to, so stick around after we're done, and our video team has put together something really cool for you, so make sure you check that out. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. We were really happy to have you, and until next time, keep on lifting.
When we're developing strength and character, the process of that development is painful and uncomfortable. Lifting weights, painful and uncomfortable. But the end result, you're stronger at the end of the day.
There's a reason I'm still training, and it's because I know for a fact that I haven't yet seen how strong I can truly be.
More often than not, I hear the same thing. How do I make a change? I know exactly where I want to go, but I have no idea how to get there.
You can take control of your body, keep training, and come back stronger. You have capabilities that you don't even know about.
It takes willpower, it takes paying attention, it takes drive and dedication. The transformation is not just possible, it's probable.
Let's get started.
3, 2, 1.
Bring that intensity. Come on.
This is where you leave the excuses and you make some real change.
We all gonna have mountains to climb. Will I lose? It's a possibility, but it's not about that. It's about me just going all the way in.
Work out for 30 minutes a day and give it 150% and leave your body on the floor.
Push yourself, challenge yourself, have a great time along the way.
Damn, she's strong.
You guys are gonna all hate me after these tough jumps. I know it.
These workouts are gonna get tougher and tougher.
But you have to push through because that's really where you change your body.
Boom, we're gonna finish this strong. Ready?
Whenever you can turn the can't into look what I just did, that's honestly the best story.
We're going to be here supporting you every step of the way.
Secret handshake.
I want you to dig deep.
Come on!
And find your reason that will last forever.